Welcome to Gear Vlogs IRL, a hybrid call-in talk show where viewers of the Gear Vlogs YouTube channel can tune in and listen to the latest automotive news and what's happenings within the automotive YouTuber space. For this episode, I'm your host, Mario Gear. Want to be a part of the show? It's easy. Just call the show's voicemail hotline number at 805-419-5129 any time of the day of the week and leave your message. Or now you can leave a comment, questions on our new subreddit community, r/gearvlogs. So sit back, crack open a cold one, and enjoy the show. Welcome to another end of the year podcast. A little late, but you're here. If you've been following me for a while, you know I tend to want to promote other content creators and businesses. In this podcast, that's what you're going to get. Just about this time last year, I featured Ben and Jess, a couple from Florida that were in the process of opening up their own shop. Tint House Customs. They can install security and AV systems to custom vehicle wraps and more. Located near the suburbs of Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood, Florida. Links to their interview will be in the show notes. Next on the list, Grind Hard Garage, based in Stuart, Florida. I've been following their IG for a while, and one thing that stood out to me about them was that they make their own unique parts that they offer on their website. Kind of reminds me of Dave Kendig of Kendig Designs when I first talked with Dave about his door handle kits at SEMA back when I was still turning a wrench and he was in a 10x10 booth and hadn't had a reality TV show yet. Next shout out goes out to Foxcast Media. I'm not certain if they started off as a YouTube channel first or as a business. Either way, if you're into Fox Body Mustangs, then hit up Foxcast Media's YouTube channel for their latest builds. Now to help pay the bills from one of our sponsors, namely me. First off, if you're listening to this podcast on Anchor.fm, did you know that you can help support this podcast with a small donation to help sustain future episodes? If you're watching this podcast on YouTube, did you know they granted me the option to offer channel memberships? Would this be of interest to you if I activated this feature? By signing up, you'd be subscribing to a $4.99 reoccurring monthly subscription, or until you cancel it at any time. What kind of channel membership perks would you like to see? Leave a comment down below, and if there's enough interest, I'll set it up. Now back to the episode. It seems 2021 was the year of shop upgrades for many popular YouTubers. First off, we have the son and father team of Condor Builds. Unlike the others on this list, they planned and literally tore down and expanded their original shop into what it is now. Check out their 51 video Building the New Condor Builds Dream Shop playlist and leave a comment on their videos that I sent you. Maybe I can get Dennis, the son, to spare some time to call in for a future podcast. Unlike most others on this list, V-Tune Garage went a more traditional route as he just purchased his own building for his new shop during a collab video with Goon Squad and his follow-up videos of him and his editor updating the new building with paint, lights, and more. Speaking of Goon Squad, we have the two-brother team of Simon and Billy. 2021 has shown their DIY skill set efforts to show that they can build their own new garage steel building on their own for the most part. Links to their channel and their new garage playlist will be in the show notes. Next up, we have Watch JR Go. Out of all of the YouTubers on this list, I envy Watch JR Go on how he went about getting his new garage. One late night on a real estate auction site and being the winning bidder of the auction for an old commercial building, and all the improvements he's done so far makes me wish to move out of California and search for a commercial property deal like his. Way to go, JR. Last on this YouTuber list is Adam LZ, and him flexing his baller status by acquiring a 30-acre automotive compound. Multiple buildings, 3 homes on site. The list goes on and on. He really scored with this purchase. Go check out his compound playlist to understand what I'm talking about. With lockdowns and never-ending travel restrictions starting to become the norm, every gearhead needs to get out, be it to keep their battery charged or meet up with friends for a cruise, or even just to show up at some random parking lot to show off your ride or to check out someone else's. My main guest for today's podcast is Tony, a hot rod, customs, and classic car promoter best known on Instagram as NorCal Car Shows. All right, my next guest I have is Tony from NorCal Car Shows. Hi, Tony. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having me. It's actually a pleasure to share car culture with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, like I said, I'm doing this year-end shout out episode podcast video vlog, but my goal for this purpose is to promote shops, businesses, promoters that are helping out the car culture and, be local, out of state, whatever. And I've been following your pages for a while now, and I like your format, and I want to introduce my audience to you, and hopefully some of your audience will find me and see how it goes. So
that sounds good. Thanks again. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. So, what do you, obviously we're almost like a couple of days or one day away from, or a couple of hours from New Year's Eve as we record this. So what's happening as far as, or what shows that are aware of that are happening in Northern California in January, I guess? I saw one of your posts on your Instagram page here, but I'm sure there's probably more always being added.
So actually right now it's kind of like the slow season for car shows. Some of the cars and coffee around the Bay Area and Northern California, they kind of come to an end. Seems like some folks, they like to take a break right around October, and then they'll start their meetups, then, and then they'll start again around March. So right now, definitely things are kind of slow, but with all the events that got canceled last year, we could definitely look forward to some of the big events that will be happening later on in 2022. As far as for January, we have a few local Bay Area meetups, and like you said, I'll be adding more. But these are the ones that we know of, the ones that we have attended, and we kind of know what kind of vibe these car meetups bring. The first one will be this coming Sunday, actually, in Antioch, Coffee and Clutches. There was a group that I belonged before that we kind of used to host Coffee and Clutches about 4 years ago. And because of COVID, the group kind of faded out, but our friend Dan took over Coffee and Clutches, so he's definitely doing a good job. So that's happening this Sunday. A good mix of cars in Antioch and Coffee and Clutches. You get the hot rods, you get the new muscle cars, so a little bit of everything, but I would say that mainly old schools. And then you have Ronnie's morning get-together happening on January 8th, and that one goes on every second Saturday of the month. And let me tell you, Ronnie's morning get-together is definitely a good show. We've been there quite a few times, and he usually drives maybe around 200 cars, sometimes even more depending on the weather. But San Jose, they usually have good weather. And on the 9th, we have Donut Time. Donut Time is actually the one that we host in El Cerrito, and that one we like to keep it mainly classics.
Gotcha.
Our goal for NorCal Car Shows is to kind of bring the classic car culture together. And it's kind of hard to explain because you see a lot of shows and people come together and all that stuff, but a lot of the traditional stuff has disappeared, so we're trying to bring that back. So if you notice, in a lot of our flyers, we put hot rods, customs, and classics. So that's kind of like what we're trying to AIM, trying to bring the group together. So that's what goes on at donut time. Donut time happens on the second Sunday of every month in El Cerrito. And a few more happen in January. We have there's SFOB. SFOB started in 2020, and that was just basically an experiment. And now SFOB is kind of like one of the main car meetups in San Francisco, and it's hosted by us, actually, NorCal Car Shows, but I decided to separate SFOB from NorCal Car Shows because I really want to push the car culture in San Francisco. And what I mean by that, if you have been to the San Francisco Old Car Picnic, which they celebrated this year, their 35th anniversary. So throughout the years, I learned a lot from Jamie, Jamie's daughter, Jamie was the founder of the Old Car Picnic years ago. I learned a lot from them, the type of cars that they bring in, the audience that they target. So I thought that San Francisco needed that because there's only a few car events happening in San Francisco, and there's so many car folks in San Francisco that they don't feel too comfortable bringing in their four doors, their grandparents' classics, and just random stuff. So that's what SFOB is all about. Just
Yeah, I understand. It's like I used to attend the San Francisco Cars and Coffees when they used to have them, but then a couple of knuckleheads screwed it up for everybody, and the organizers lose a venue where they can gather, so that's no fun for anybody. So yeah, we definitely need to have get-togethers to attend.
Yeah. We definitely don't like the old drama, running tires and all that stuff, and that's really hard to avoid. But I believe that, from the get-go, if you're trying to, and this goes out to all you guys that are trying to start a new car meetup and things like that, from the get-go, what kind of audience are you trying to attract? Do you want to have a party with everybody coming in, or do you want to have certain people coming in? Just think about that. And with that, it kind of falls like a domino effect. So other things will follow. So pay attention to what you want to do, aim at the right audience, and somehow try to connect with the community. That's always a good thing because, you kind of start to catch other people's attentions, like, some of the local businesses, they want to maybe reach out to you and do something together to promote other things. So definitely keep an eye out to what you guys want to attract. I see flyers sometimes that say solo riders, motorcycles, this and that, but it's like, hey man, just think about the venue, maybe a little bit of troublemaker. So definitely look out for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Like one of the things I was big into how my channel first started growing, I used to cover a lot of the supercars and the hypercars, the exotic car shows. They used to be, they're still around, but just because of COVID and whatnot, it's been on the back burner, but which was like 100 Octane used to put on some great shows at Santana Row. But, for the last year and a half, 2 years, we haven't had that. And I'm starting to see other car shows like San Jose Mustang down here in the South Bay here put on a once-a-month type show. And I don't see why, everybody's doing the distancing protocol, wearing masks or whatever. And I don't see why we can't bring that type of stuff back. But, like I said, I found a shopping center that's like on the outskirts of being a ghost town, and I'm like thinking, well, if I can find enough people to help organize it, might be a great South Bay alternative for another car show. But like you said, it's that's more of your expertise on organizing and whatnot. So
I've had a few people ask me about how to start that stuff, and I pretty much say what I mentioned just now. For like the Pengrove Carson Coffee that I have listed happening the end of this month. And that's like one of my favorite venues, Pengrove out there in the North Bay. Beautiful setup. It's right outside an old train station that you have a supermarket there. But anyways, I help them kind of like think about how to do it and how to attract people. And I'm huge on visuals. A lot of the stuff that you see on my page, I do a lot of that stuff, like the flyers, just posters and things like that. I'm huge on that because people eat with their eyes. I'm actually, I used to be a chef. Besides all this car stuff, I used to be a chef. So attracting people's eyes, it's always a good thing. So I'm huge on that.
Cool.
I'm posting, cool graphics and keep it simple. All you need, and again, here's a message to all you guys out there that are creating flyers. Keep your stuff simple. Get a picture, and this is important. Get a picture of the car, and put a picture. Make a flyer with a picture of the car of the audience that you want to attract.
Right. Or the specific niche that you're going after for your audience niche.
Yeah. There's times that people ask me to post flyers, but then there's a picture of a new car and things like that. And I really don't have anything against that, but it's just not what we're trying to do. There's other pages that promote that. So to those of you that are trying to promote like a Carson Coffee, all cars welcome, and things like that, put two pictures. Put a picture of an old car, put a picture of a new Camaro, Mustang, like that. You kind of sending a message right away of what you're trying to do. So I'm definitely big on pictures, man. Like I said, you eat with your eyes first, and if they're on, we'll see what happens.
Cool. All right, man. I think, like I said, I'm going to, I'll have in the podcast and the video description links to your Instagram page or Facebook page, any kind of links I could get. I'll make them available, and so people can check you out and
yeah, man,
go from there.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks again for reaching out. I definitely will continue to share the events, the car culture events happening in the Bay Area, Northern California. So thank you for having me, and definitely we can help each other out and we'll promote each other out. Sure.
Definitely appreciate that. And I think that will be it for there. So let's sign off right about now. And please take a moment to click on my links in the show notes to follow me on all of my social platforms. If you want to help support this podcast with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes, just click on the link in the show notes down below. Thanks.